Now, in all the hoo-ha over the cobbles yesterday, we didn't really mention it, but the tour continues to roll through the battlefields of World War I today, starting in Arras in Pas-de-Calais and taking a route through the Somme on the way to Reims. There's more significant history than geography on the stage, passing as it does the Museum of the Great War in Péronne and the site of the Second Battle of the Aisne. All the landscape has to offer by way of challenge is a fourth category blip either side of the day's intermediate sprint. Nowhere for a breakaway to hide really, so in racing terms this should be about the final sprint and the resumption of the contest for the green jersey. If ever the Tour decided to introduce Giro-style podium celebrations, incidentally, the capital of the champagne industry would be the place to do it.
We hit 3 kilometres to go. The team that's led all day in the chase, the black and white stripes of Giant Shimano, are no longer here. And Marcel Kittel knows now he's on his own. It's going to be a very difficult stage for Kittel to take now. There's a lot of people have got a lot of interest in winning this stage, and the high speed is breaking up the rhythm of the sprinter.
The red and white jerseys are Team Katusha. That's the Russian squad. They're looking after their sprinter, and that is Alexander Kristoff. But watch out for the riders in the black jerseys over to the left-hand side, because they've got the youngest rider in the race, Danny van Poppel, and he'll be looking to try and get a victory. Simon Gerrans, he's struggling, Phil, but that's not surprising because he was involved in that nasty crash on day one.
Tailed off by the sheer speed of the run into town now as we're coursing through the streets of Reims. Still got 2.5 kilometres to go now. Peter Sagan is up here. He's the green jersey, the dark green jersey, way back in the centre of the pack. 2 kilometres to go. Omega Pharma Quick-Step have dictated. They've blown away Giant Shimano. But can they still get Mark Renshaw to finish off the victory for them?
Well, Kwiatkowski now in the white jersey. He's up into 3rd position. Again, he's not riding for himself here this afternoon. Despite being in 4th place in the overall standing, he's thinking about his teammates and his mates who are right behind him. He wants to keep the pressure high. If you keep the pace nice and high like this, riders can't catch up from behind. They can't come up and swamp you and make the sprint rather confusing. Nice to see Brian Coquard, the new Frenchman, on the block right in the middle, but so too is Peter Sagan in the darker green jersey of Team Cannondale. But the white jersey there is too of the man with the German bands around the middle, Andre Greipel.
What an incredible Tour de France I think we're in for this year. This was to be a stage for the sprinter. It was to be the day 190 riders fought it out. But just as we come here, Kwiatkowski has decided at 1 kilometre to go for it. And he's going to have to stretch the riders now because that is an incredibly intelligent move. He is obviously extremely strong. Omega Pharma Quick-Step is shut down now. Katusha desperately trying to make amends here. Kristoff is coming through in second wheel. The Giant Shimano boys have been ridden out of this race by sheer speed and is stealing this stage with an incredible show of speed now as Kwiatkowski holds them off. Kristoff trying to be brought up, but look at their faces. They have got no more speed in those legs, and this is going to be a victory now for Michael. Oh, is it? Retzer is bringing them up. Last desperate throws as Retzer himself. Kevin Retzer is coming through. Renshaw is on Retzer's wheel, and on the right is Greipel. Andre Greipel is broken for the line. Renshaw has got the tail of him now. Kristoff is in 3rd, but Andre Greipel has just done the ride of his life. What an incredible sprint, Paul.
Well, that was amazing, but everybody had to bide their time. The man who nearly created the surprise, Phil, was Kwiatkowski. He was actually trying to lead out his teammates there. He had so much power, he rode away from everybody else. This is a second group coming forward here, but I wonder what happened to Marcel Kittel.
I can tell you what happened, Paul. He punctured, and so too did Danny van Poppel, 2 young sprinters at the most crucial stage, leaving a wide open sprint.
That is tough to happen on the run in towards the finish place. These are time gaps that we're looking at here this afternoon, Phil. I have to say that that's not so important. I'm just having a look to see who has got himself into the group. Marcel Kittel riding up there in the middle of the screen in the black and white jersey. Tough day for him, but you know what? He'll come back and fight another day.
Right, let's take a look at the result. Greipel, Kristoff and Dumoulin occupied the podium places, if there was a stage win podium. Then it was Renshaw, Sagan, Feyou, Velas and Coquard. Behind them, all the overall contenders finished in the main field. With Kittel on the wrong side of the split was Simon Yates. And Kittel was quick to correct the race radio reports that he'd punctured.
No, there was no puncture. I was simply not strong enough anymore than to be there in the final, because I lost quite some energy in the crosswinds, because we could not react as a team really anymore. That's no critic at all. That's just, yeah, we did not really have the control anymore about the race at that point, and that was not good. But in the end, sometimes it's good to have those moments in a race or in a stage that you end up at a point where you actually did not want to be as a team, to find also mistakes that you did and do it the next time better.
In other words, I'll be back, but he's too classy to stoop to that. Whether Greipel could have won had Kittel been in the league group, we'll never know. But Kittel wasn't, and Germany's clean sweep of the sprints continues.
Today I was really motivated, really focused to have a good spot for the sprint, to have a good position, and I just went all the way to the line, and I'm really happy that the pressure is off. We have our stage win, and all the rest is on top now.
Peter Sagan recorded his worst finish of the race so far, 5th, and that consistency means he's well over halfway to last year's winning total in the green jersey competition. 217 after just 6 stages, 80 points ahead of Brian Cocard. No change of note in the general classification. Vincenzo Nibali keeps his lead over his teammate Jakob Fuglsang and all the riders behind him. Bauke Mollema and Alberto Contador move up a place each to 17th and 18th. They're no nearer Nibali, but the French rider Thibaut Pinot lost 59 seconds today and dropped out of the top 20. So an uneventful day in the general classification from a spectator's point of view, but not if you had to ride it.
Ma tanto tranquilla no, perché c'è stato sempre un po' di nervosismo, è una tappa che già avevamo visto anche sulla carta e con il tempo c'era tantissimo vento, quindi c'era il pericolo di ventagli nel finale, infatti ci sono stati, però come ho detto ho avuto una buona copertura della squadra e siamo rimasti davanti e la velocità proprio nel finale era molto alta.
It was such a stressful day today, but you know, lucky had Bernie Eisel and Geraint Thomas there, and you know, it was just ride the bike and sit on with them. But I mean, it was such a stressful day out there, and crosswinds, you know, slippery roads, but we made it through and tick another day off.
And a rider down today, sadly, again in Javier Sandillo. How does that impinge on you while you're on your thoughts while you're on the road?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Zabi crashed a few times this race, and he was in a little bit of trouble. But then to lose him, I mean, it sucks, to be honest. But you know, and then with Chris yesterday, but you know, the show rolls on, and it'll be the same tomorrow, I guess.